Hi everyone, welcome to Pawpaw's Workshop. This is the first video in my beginner series, and I want to talk about tape measures. Now this isn't a power tool, but it is a very, very important tool in the shop. And today, I'm going to cover some features that probably 95% of the people out there have no idea what it means. So let's get started. Hi everyone. Listen, today I'm trying to be really quiet in the shop because my grandbaby is upstairs asleep and she's literally right above me. But I wanted to be able to start out with the beginner series on the tape measures. Now, of course, it's not the power tools yet. The power tool video is almost done. In fact, once I can make noise in the shop again, I'll have that video finished. And remember, we're doing the first power tool on the jigsaw. But for today, while I have to be real quiet, let's go ahead and get started on the tape measures and learn as much as we can about tape measures. When you look at a tape measure, have you ever wondered why this moves? Is the tape measure broken? No, not at all. Here's the situation. If you measure, this is 1 inch, but if you measure from here back, this is actually 15/16. The reason that you have this that moves is so that you can get an accurate measurement. If I have a board and I do a measure this way, it pushes that in. If I push this against the object, it will give you an accurate measurement. Likewise, if I put it over the top, it moves that 1/16 of an inch so that it again will give you an accurate measurement. So that's the reason that that is there. It's only a 1/16 of an inch, but it makes a difference if you're trying to be accurate. The next thing I want to show you is why is there a slot right there. That slot is very, very important, because what happens, you can actually hook a nail or a screw there so you can make a measurement by yourself. Let me show you how that's done. So if I'm working by myself and I need to take a measurement, that actually will hook right in there, and that will give a very good accurate measurement again, and it won't slip off. That's going to hold and not move. So this makes it where working by yourself is actually pretty efficient. And again, that will hook right in there and give a very accurate measurement and hold it in place. The next thing that I want to show you about this point is this bottom edge. This bottom edge is actually relatively sharp. And the good thing about that is if you don't have a pencil, you can still use this to make your mark on your material. So using a pencil, I can easily take this and make my mark, and that's very accurate and it's easy to be seen. So you can see that mark. But what happens if I don't have a pencil? I can still do the same thing. I can just put this down and use the edge, and I can mark that the same way. To show you in the camera, that's the mark that I made using just the tip of the tape measure. So that's, again, that works real well. So the next feature that I want to be able to show you is the curved tape measure. Why is this curved? Well, the simple reason is metal is stronger when it has curves and bends in it. That's why you see cars that have a lot of curves on the side of them. The hood of a car has different curves. Yes, it looks nice, but it's there for strength also. The advantage of having this curve is to be able to extend this out and not have it bend. So I can spin this out quite a distance before it'll actually break and bend. So there's 6 feet, there's 7 feet, and there's 8 feet. That's not bad. Now this is a 1-inch wide tape measure. Now there's one more advantage that we have to this, that this tape will bend very easily going in this direction. And what's nice is that you could actually use it to measure into a corner. So for an example, if I push my tape measure right there, it's measured at 14.5. So that becomes very, very convenient when you're measuring a room against a wall and you need to be able to get that inside measurement. That's how you do it. Now the next thing I want to show you is actually on this side of a tape measure. So if I zoom in real close, you'll see, and I'm going to try to get this where you can see it in the camera, that is 3 3/8 of an inch, and it has an arrow going in both different directions. If I slide over to look at this one, it says 3.5 inches with the arrows. What does that mean? Now, this 3.5 inches is the distance of the case of this tape measure. And the beauty behind this is if you're measuring and you measure out to a wall and you get to the point where, for an example, this is 14 inches and we are against a wall, I can actually add 3.5 inches to get my total measurement. This is really, really handy. You can see right here at the beginning of the case, that's right at my 14 inches. So if I add 3.5 inches to the back, that gives me 17.5 inches. So that can be real handy if you're in a tight spot and you can't get the measurement any other way. Use the tape measure itself and add those inches to it. Now, all tape measures don't have that, but I tell you, it's a real convenient feature. There's a lot of different tape measures out there that have different type of measurements on them. And I want to be able to show you a few examples. This, for an example, has just the inches on it, but it shows top and bottom. And once you get to the 12, it starts over again with the 1 and goes all the way back to the 2 foot mark, where it again begins with the 1. And top and bottom are in inches. Let's go to the next tape measure. And this one shows where the top is in inches, but it actually shows the fractions. And that is something that we can talk about on a whole nother video on what each of these little tick marks mean. And then on the bottom side, this one is in metrics. And you've seen in some of the videos that I've done where I will use metric as well as inches. And then going down to the next one, this one shows inches on both the top and the bottom, and it shows at the bottom again the fraction equivalent, and on top it shows a traditional way. But at this point, the 12 inches, then it starts at 1 foot 1 inch, and so on. And when it gets up to the 2 foot mark, it says 2 foot, and then 2 foot 1 inch, and so on. So all these tape measures will have a little bit different type of nomenclature to be able to reflect what you need. Now let's talk about some of the other features. You'll notice that all of them have the 1 foot line is either in black or a big black arrow. So that shows the foot increments. Likewise, then at the 2 foot level, it shows the same thing. And that would continue on with all the different tape measures. The next thing that I want to show you is at the 16 inch. The 16 is measured in red. And the different tape measures will reflect a little bit different, but they all show the same thing. The red is highlighted for the 16. This one, the number 16 is highlighted in red and it's circled with a box, but it's still marked as red. Now then, the next mark that I want to be able to show you is the black diamond. I would venture to say that there's about 95% of the people out there that have no idea what the black triangle is. Here it is on each one of the tape measures. So what is it? Well, the easiest way to do is show you the layout, because these are all layout lines, whether it's 1 foot, the 16 inches, or in the case of the black diamond, at the 19 and basically 3/16. So I'm going to show you now what that actually means. Okay, what I've done here is I've laid out with the tape measure an 8-foot section. The other thing that I've done is I've taken some just 2x4 blocks and I'm using the 16 inches on center for my layout. So that was, if you remember, the red mark on the tape measure. So I start at the beginning at the 8-foot line, and then 16, 32, 48, and so on to be able to get my 8 foot. Now this 16 inches on center is probably the most common measurement and stud layout that you're going to find in the homes today. The next one that you're going to see is the 24 inches on center. And this typically is used in like utility sheds or the garden sheds outside, where they're 24 inches on center. And let me show you what that looks like. We'll place the first one right there. And then on the black marks, there's my 2 foot. And I have my 4-foot line. There's my 6-foot line. And here's my 8 foot. Now with this layout, you can see that they're quite a bit further apart. And this is going to be the one that has the least amount of strength to it. And that's why it's used typically for the outdoor utility type sheds and garden sheds. The next one that I want to show you is the one with the black diamond. And on that one, again, it starts off 0 point, the beginning of the tape measure. And then this is at my 19 inches, 19 and 3/16. And then there's the next one. And you can see with the diamonds, the layout is actually pretty easy to be able to do. Now this is used in different parts of the country for the construction, depending on the wall situation, and it also can be used for your rafter layouts. And again, depending on the loads that you have to have on the roof. But this is the measurements and the layout lines that you have indicated on the various tape measures. Okay, there you have the first video showing a lot of the tricks and tips on a simple tape measure. Things that people normally don't think about or never even knew about to begin with. It's not just simply pull out the tape measure and measure something. There's a lot more things that you can do with the tape measure. And today I tried to show you a few of those things. So there you have it. A little bit of the tips and tricks that you can use with the tape measure that 95% of the people out there never ever knew about, and now you do. So it's not just for stretching out the tape and measuring it. It is a complete layout system, and the little tips and tricks that I showed you about the tip of the tape measure will really help out, not to mention using the case itself as a measuring tool. This beginner series is going to be a lot of fun, and stay tuned for the jigsaw video. That's coming up next, and I'm really looking forward to it. There's so many things that you can do with the jigsaw. So please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, because I've got a lot of exciting videos that we're going to do with the various tools to be able to get your shop up and running for the minimum amount of money. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. If you like the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the little bell next to it so you'll be notified on the different videos that I upload. Also, check out the videos over here to be able to stay up to date on the happenings in my shop. So again, thank you for watching my videos.